Funding for Greater Chattanooga is provided by EPB Fiber Optics.
You know, I think Chattanooga has a tremendous pride in community. I think that spirit is fully embraced by craft beer.
Just the general culture in Chattanooga seems to be supportive of it. There's a good number of young people that are interested in craft beer. A lot of people like the fact that someone here in their town is making this product and making something that's enjoyable that you can have with your friends.
It started out as a fun idea that later turned into a passion. Just something that we kind of fell in love with. We fell in love with the industry as well as the process of making it. Graduated from college, couldn't find a job in the field that I was looking in. We're sitting on a porch one day drinking a beer, and the idea of a family business came up and beer was in my hand, so the rest is pretty much history. We got into home brewing for a short stint, and then 4 years later, here we are. So I'm in charge of ordering materials, getting beers and fermenters. He's in charge of making sure that the books are running smoothly. My wife, Emily, does bottle and can designs, so she's in charge of all that. She was also in charge of designing the space, not something that me and him are very good at. So we knew how we wanted it to function, but she did an awesome job putting it together.
In the late 80s and early 90s, fellows looked at bringing a brewery here, and they actually toyed with using the name Chattanooga Brewing Company, but I've talked to a couple of them. I don't know why they elected not to, but they went with Big River. That was actually the first brewery open in Chattanooga after Prohibition. I founded Chattanooga Brewing in 2010, or the redoing of Chattanooga Brewing. We play up a lot on our history. We're proud of our local Chattanooga history and Chattanooga Brewing Company history. I've always been fascinated with the local history of Chattanooga. The Rife family owned the brewery that was downtown between 2nd and 3rd and Chestnut and Broad from 1890 to 1915. Prohibition essentially ended that. When we looked at bringing this business back, we felt like that was a natural tie to be able to promote Chattanooga's history in brewing. From what you've seen of us, we use a lot of our logos, a lot of our art, and a lot of our marketing is geared towards connection to that.
Really all started for me when my brother was in school in Charlotte, North Carolina. And at the time, Charlotte was going through their craft beer boom. Whenever I went to go visit them, that left a really everlasting effect on me on how unique each beer was and how each person and each process and different equipment could really craft something that was really special. So over the years, and it was really about 10 years of home brewing, you know, all the pieces just kind of finally fell into place, and we decided, you know, it was time to go forward with this. Grew up in Soddy Daisy, Tennessee. I went to high school here in Chattanooga. Lived here all the way until 2009, and I left to went away for school. I'd known Chattanooga, and I knew how the market worked here. I know the area, I knew the people. And I really wanted to bring something back to our community that, you know, that we could all be proud of together. You know, for us being so close to Asheville, North Carolina, and they experienced that great craft brewery boom, and we did not, I started looking at what was the difference, what were we lacking, and a little bit dates back to previous laws to where it was a little bit harder to sell higher gravity beers, and it wasn't really economical for a craft brewery to exist. But those laws had changed, and still yet we had this kind of void. Didn't put a whole lot of thought into putting the brewery anywhere else.
Beer is very complex. 4 ingredients, very simple it seems, right? But the varieties available of each of those 4 ingredients is almost infinite.
We get to be creative and adjust our recipes and let our customers try new things. And that's just not something you see happening with the big industrial producers.
So it gives variety to people who want to try different styles or different types of beer.
It makes you your own artist when you're crafting these beers. There's no reason that it's not just like having a fine glass of wine. You've got aroma that comes off of it. You've got forefronts and back notes of the beer that you're tasting. There's so many different environmental conditions and factors that go into it, and that's what makes it unique.
I guess I could go on the tack that there are people that think that beer is actually what made humans civilized. That when we went from hunting and gathering to agriculture, that one of the reasons was so that we could make beer, because beer makes us happy.
It is a social thing, it's a drink where, people can get together and build camaraderie.
When you go to a bar or a pub or something like that, nowadays in American culture, it's very common for TVs just to be on in the background. So we wanted to kind of get back to what it used to be, right? Getting together in a tavern at your favorite watering hole and just, have a few beers and talk to the people next to you. We intentionally designed this place, this tap room, and in a way that promotes community activity.
A craft brewery is all about community, I think, and I think you're missing the boat if you don't somehow incorporate yourself into that.
The city's still thirsty. We still have breweries opening, now after we've been open for 2 years, which is awesome. It only enhances the beer culture of Chattanooga.
Initially when you have a new brewery open up, you might see a dip in sales from another local nearby brewery, but then those actually balance out and they come up together. You're both coming into the market, you're both offering completely unique different products. Yes, it's still craft beer, but my craft beer doesn't taste anything like the brewery next door, and everyone kind of has their own little niche.
I think as long as breweries are producing a quality product consistently, there's a place for them in the marketplace.
It allows Chattanooga to become a destination for beer lovers. And now we're starting to see an influx of people coming in just for beer tourism.
I think we've got a really unique situation here that we can really put Chattanooga on the map as a tourist destination for coming to have craft beer.